Our world, warm, comfortable, familiar. But when we look up, we wonder, do we occupy a special place in the cosmos? Or are we merely a celestial footnote? Is the universe welcoming or hostile? We could stand here forever wondering. Or we could leave home on the ultimate adventure. To discover wonders, confront horrors, beautiful new worlds, malevolent dark forces, the beginning of time, the moment of creation. Would we have the courage to see it through? Or would we run for home? There's only one way to find out.
Welcome to another interesting class. Today we shall be looking at the solar system. Okay, when we talk about the solar system, we're talking about a system of planets in which the sun is at the center, and then you have planets orbiting the sun elliptically. These planets and the sun, which of course is the star, are held together by gravitational bond. Okay, so the solar system consists not only of planet Earth, but we also have other planets that are orbiting it, that is the sun. Then we look at the moon. Moons are actually satellites. They are called satellites because they orbit planets, okay? And they are called natural satellites. All right? So you must know that the moon, the sun, the earth, we are discussing all of them together, is what make up the solar system. Okay? That's what make up the solar system. The solar system is made up of 8 planets, okay, with the sun at the center. And there are 4 out of these 8 planets. Now 4 are called the inner planets, which are made up of Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, while the 4 other planets are called the outer planets. They are actually farther away from the sun, meaning the inner planets are closer to the sun. And of course, you must know the way the numbers are arranged here. Mercury is the closest to the sun. Okay, you can see the GIF here. You can see the solar system. All right, you can see the sun at the center, and then you have the 8 planets orbiting the sun elliptically at different period. Okay, it takes different time for each planet to make one complete cycle. Beside this, there's what we call the Milky Way. Okay, when we talk about the Milky Way, we are talking about the galaxy in which the solar system is found. Is called the Milky Way. We call it Milky Way because we are standing on planet Earth. You see the appearance, all right? That's billions of stars you used to see arranged in a good format or in a good way. So that is the reason why it is called the Milky Way. Now, you must know that in describing or talking about space, we have the solar system found in a galaxy, and then we have the galaxy called the Milky Way, and this Milky Way is found in what we call the Orion. All right, beside the galaxy or the Milky Way, there are other galaxies which consist of billions and thousands of other planets. Okay, for example, now we are talking about the solar system. Beside these 8 planets, we have what we call dwarf planets, in which Pluto, that you know, is one of the dwarf planets. They are called dwarf planets because they are usually smaller in sizes generally, okay, and they are farther away from the sun. All right, they are very, very far away from the sun. They are cool, very cool, okay, cool, like just more than the last 2 planets you see in the solar system. And they are also considered as planets because they have moon or natural satellite orbiting them. They have their own moon orbiting them as well. All right, Pluto is one of these dwarf planets. You must remember that. Okay, now this is the planet, and then not only the planet, it shows the days it takes for them to make one complete cycle, that is to go around the sun elliptically. You can see our own planet Earth is 365 days. You can see Neptune is 164.8 years. That is 164.8 years. Okay, you can see Mars, it takes about 687 days, and then you can see Mercury taking 88 days, and then you can see Venus taking 224.7 days, and you can see Jupiter, which of course is the largest planet, taking 11.9 years, and then you have Uranus taking 84 years, and then you have Saturn taking 29.5 years. Now, if you observe very well, planets closer to the sun, which are the first 4, orbits more quicker than those farther away, and of course you know why. So we look at the acronym for remembering the 9 planets that you know before. My very eager mother just served us 9 pizza. All right, I believe you have come across this one before. My very eager mother just served us 9 pizza, but now we are talking about 8 planets. That now leaves us with your acronym. My very eager mother just served us 9. So you now remove the planet, or you can prefer to use my very Earth makes Jupiter seems unique and nice, or my very Earth makes Jupiter so unique and nice. All right, but if you are very familiar with this one, which of course is recognized worldwide, all you need to do is to remove the Pluto when you are reciting it. Okay, so this gives us the 9 planets of the solar system. Okay, the 9 planets of the solar system. This is what I'm talking about. All right, exactly what I'm talking about. So you can leave it this way. If you remember it this way, all you need to do is to remove, and then you have this. Let's talk about the Earth for a moment. Scientists have explored various planets of the solar system and even beyond, and they have come to discover that planet Earth is the only planet that is just right to accompany life. Why? Because it is at the right distance from the sun to be warm enough for people to live and survive. Planet Earth also have liquid water in its surface. Of course, you know that. Okay, we have sea that is not frozen. Not only that, you know that life needs water. Without water, we cannot have life. So when there's water, that's where there is life. Another important thing that planet Earth has is atmosphere. Atmosphere is a mixture of gases, is it not? What these gases do is that it helps to retain heat from the sun and releases them during the cool of the day. Alright, and that is why planet Earth is always warm. Alright, and is different from other planets that gets very hot and very cold. Okay, like you will see in Mercury. Mercury gets very hot and also very cold because of the absence of all these characteristics, because of the absence of this feature. So planet Earth is the only place comfortable for life. I must inform you that years ago, scientists took a project trying to make Mars convenient for life. Okay, they tried to introduce, because Mars is, I would say, is the next terrestrial. Okay, is the next that we can consider to say, okay, let's say which planet is the next after Earth that human being can manage, although we cannot. You will choose Mars. Okay, they try to make Mars comfortable for life, and then at the end of the day they discover that is absolutely impossible at the moment. Why? Because the atmosphere is empty. Okay, it lacks atmosphere, so we are facing the rays from the sun. We call it ultraviolet ray, and this ray is not good for human because it causes what we call mutation, and that mutation actually results to we humans giving birth to incomplete children that are having deformity. All right, so that is why planet Earth needs to be maintained by you and me. People have been studying and learning about the solar system for thousands of years. Okay, many years. Constellation of stars were identified by civilization, and the seasons were measured and predicted by farmers who observed the changing night skies. They knew that certain constellations and stars could only be seen at a particular time of the year. Okay, what they are talking about in this place is this. When you are studying at planet Earth in those days, or during the Stone Age, they did not have a lot of equipment to travel to space. So they observed that certain stars appear taking a pattern. That pattern could be in form of a god they believe in, or an object which could be animate or inanimate. And then they discovered that this pattern keeps repeating at a specific time. So they were able to use this to interpret times and then season. Okay, they were able to use it effectively. Let's now look at distance in space. You know, in planet Earth we use meter, kilometer, and miles. All right, but when you travel to space, as you go farther and farther, all right, as your satellite travel farther and farther, you can no longer measure in miles, all right, or mile. As you can see there, that 1 mile is about 1.6 kilometer. Okay, move to a higher unit which we call the light years. All right, so when you hear the word light years, just know we're talking about distance in space. That is where I'm coming. All right, you can see what 1 light years is in kilometer. All right, so know that in space we use light years to represent distance. That is very, very important here. I want you to sit down, relax, and enjoy this interesting documentary to learn more about our planet in the solar system. Okay?
We have to leave all this behind, to dip our toes into the vast dark ocean. On to the moon. Dozens of astronauts have come this way before us. 12 walked on the moon itself. Just 250,000 miles from home. 3 days by spacecraft. Neil Armstrong's first footprints. Looks like they were made yesterday. There's no air to change them. They could survive for millions of years. Maybe longer than us. 1 million miles, 5 million, 20 million miles. We're far beyond where any human has ever ventured. Out of the darkness, a friendly face. The goddess of love, Venus. The morning star, the evening star. She can welcome the new day in the east, say goodnight in the west. A sister to our planet, she's about the same size and gravity as Earth. We should be safe here. But the Venus Express space probe is setting off alarms. It's telling us these dazzling clouds, they're made of deadly sulfuric acid. The atmosphere is choking with carbon dioxide. Never expected this. Venus is one angry goddess. The air is noxious, the pressure unbearable. And it's hot, approaching 900 degrees. Stick around and we'd be corroded, suffocated, crushed, and baked. Nothing can survive here. But there's something about the sun, something hypnotic, like the Medusa, too terrible to look at, too powerful to resist. Luring us onwards, on, like a moth to a flame. Wait, there's something else, obscured by the sun. It must be Mercury. Get too close to the sun, this is what happens. Temperatures swing wildly here. At night, it's minus 275 degrees. Come midday, it's 800 plus. Burnt, then frozen. The Messenger space probe is telling us something strange. For its size, Mercury has a powerful gravitational pull. It's a huge ball of iron, covered with a thin veneer of rock, the core of what was once a much larger planet. So where's the rest of it? Maybe a stray planet slammed into Mercury, blasting away its outer layers in a deadly game of cosmic pinball. Whole worlds, on the loose, careening wildly across the cosmos, destroying anything in their path. And we're in the middle of it. Vulnerable, exposed, small. Everything is telling us to turn back. But who could defy this? The sun, in all its mesmerizing splendor. Our light, our lives. Everything we do is controlled by the sun, depends on it. It's the Greek god Helios driving his chariot across the sky. The Egyptian god Ra, reborn every day. The summer solstice sun rising at Stonehenge. For millions of years, this was as close as it got to staring into the face. It's so far away. If it burned out, we wouldn't know about it for 8 minutes. It's so big, you could fit 1 million Earths inside it. But who needs numbers? We've got the real thing. We see it every day, a familiar face in our sky. Now, up close, it's unrecognizable. A turbulent sea of incandescent gas. The thermometer pushes 10,000 degrees. Can't imagine how hot the core is. Could be tens of millions of degrees. Hot enough to transform millions of tons of matter into energy every second. More than all the energy ever made by mankind. Dwarfing the power of all the nuclear weapons on Earth. Back home, we use this energy for light and heat. But up close, there's nothing comforting about the sun. But these are all too real. Asteroids, some of them hundreds of miles wide. This one must be about 20 miles long. And there, perched on it, a space probe. Can't have been easy parking on an asteroid traveling at 50,000 miles an hour. It's a lot of effort just to investigate some rubble. Rubble that regularly collides, breaks up, and rains down on Earth as meteorites. Our ancestors saw shooting stars as magical omens, and they were right. Rubble like this came together to make the planets, including our own. Pretty magical. By dating the meteorites found on Earth, we can tell the planets were born 4.6 billion years ago. These are the birth certificates of our solar system. For some reason, these rocks didn't form into a planet. Something must have stopped them. Something powerful. Jupiter. What a monster. At least 1,000 times bigger than Earth, so vast you could fit all the other planets inside it. Something this massive dominates its neighbors. Its gravity is pulling the asteroids apart. And it's breathtaking. But this beauty is a beast. It's almost all gas. Land here and we'd sink straight through its layers into oblivion. The biggest, most violent storm in the solar system. At least 3 times the size of Earth, it's been raging for over 300 years. All these churning clouds must have sparked an electrical storm. Just one bolt is 10,000 times more intense than any at home. Looks like the safest place to see Jupiter is from a distance. Up there at the poles, those dancing lights, they're like the auroras back home. But the Geiger counter is going wild. Even these are deadly, generated by lethal radiation. Out here, nothing is what it seems. The universe is full of terrors. It's captivated our imaginations, haunted our dreams. And here it is, spinning before our eyes. Saturn, named for the Roman god who reigned over a golden age of peace and harmony. This planet's a giant ball of gas, so light it would float on water. Its spectacular rings would stretch almost from Earth to the moon. Which is unseen from Earth, unknown for most of history. It's like diving into the depths of the ocean. Those rings make it look like Uranus has been tilted off its axis, toppled over by a stray planet. It's eerie out here. Already beginning to feel small, lonely. Maybe this is how we'll feel at the edge of the universe. But we've barely left the shore. If the solar system was 1 mile wide, so far we've traveled about 3 inches. God of the sea, Neptune. This world is covered in methane gas, and a storm as big as Earth, whipped up by savage 1,000-mile-an-hour winds. Back home, it's the sun that drives the wind. But Neptune's far away. Something else must be creating these ferocious winds. But what? We know very little about our own solar system. After all those balls of gas, a solid moon. Triton. Solid, but not stable. Just look at those geysers, cosmic smokestacks, pumping out strange soot. And this moon is revolving around Neptune in the opposite direction of the planet's spin. A cosmic battle of wills that this angry moon is destined to lose. Neptune's massive gravity is pulling on Triton, slowing it down, reeling it in. One day, it will be ripped apart by Neptune. And that's it. No more moons, no more planets in our solar system. It's getting colder. We're getting further from the sun, slipping from the grip of its gravitational tentacles. But this isn't a void. It's teeming with frozen rocks, like Pluto. Until recently, we thought Pluto was alone. Beyond it, nothing. We were wrong. More frozen worlds. Discoveries so new nobody can agree what to call them. Plutinos, ice dwarfs, cubewanos. Our solar system is far more chaotic and strange than we had imagined. Now we're 8 billion miles from home. The most distant thing ever seen that orbits the sun. Another small, icy world, Sedna, discovered in 2003. Its orbit takes 10,000 years to complete. $25 trillion miles from home. A 150,000-year ride in the space shuttle. And we've only just reached the first solar system beyond our own. Alpha Centauri. Not 1, but 3 stars, spinning around each other, locked in a celestial standoff. Each star's gravity attracting the other, their blazing orbital speed keeping them apart. Get between them and we'd be vaporized. Trillions of miles from home. So far that miles are becoming meaningless. Out here we measure in light years. Light travels 6 trillion miles a year, so we are over 4 light years from home. Distances so vast, they're mind-boggling. Who knows what strange forces lie ahead, what we'll discover when, if, we reach the edge of the universe. A kind of vast, dirty snowball covered in grimy tar. Tiny grains of what looks like organic material preserved on ice since who knows when. Maybe even the beginning of the solar system. Say a comet like this crashed into the young Earth billions of years ago. Maybe it delivered organic material and water, the raw ingredients of life. It may even have sown the seeds of life on Earth that evolved into you and me. But say it crashed into the Earth now. Think of the dinosaurs, wiped out by a comet or asteroid strike. It's only a question of time. Eventually, one day, we'll go the way of the dinosaurs. If life on Earth was wiped out, we'd be stuck out here, homeless, adrift in a hostile universe. We need to find another home. Among the millions, billions of planets, there must be one that's not too hot, not too cold, with air, sunlight, water, where, like Goldilocks, we could comfortably live. The Red Planet. Unmistakably, Mars. For centuries, we've looked to Mars for company, for signs of life. Could there be extraterrestrial life here? Are we ready to rewrite the history books, to tear up the science books, to turn our world upside down? What happens next could change everything. Mars is the planet that most captures our imagination. Think of B-movies, sci-fi comics. What follows? Martians. It's all just fiction, right? But what if there really is something here? Hard to imagine, though, up close. This is a dead planet. The activity that makes the Earth livable shut down millions of years ago here. Red and dead. Mars is a giant fossil. Wait. Something is alive. A dust devil. A big one. Bigger than the biggest twisters back home. There's wind here. And where there's wind, there's air. Could that air sustain extraterrestrial life? It's too thin for us to breathe. And there's no ozone layer. Nothing to protect us against the sun's ultraviolet rays. There is water, but frigid temperatures keep it in a constant deep freeze. It's hard to believe anything could live here.
Welcome back. From our lesson, you now know that the Earth is the only planet in the solar system which have perfect condition for life, and that there are 8 planets in the solar system, with Pluto being a dwarf planet. Okay, and then we also know that we use constellation and stars. We can see the night skies change throughout the year. Alright, if you've come across the movie A Walk to Remember, I think you will understand what I'm saying. A Walk to Remember, you see a scene where the girl read about a very important star. Alright, and the date in which that star will come out was documented, and so she prepared herself to make sure that she sees the stars, and truly she saw the star. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the class. I would like you to make sure you do your assignment and submit successfully. Stay safe. I'll see you in the next class.
What's your vision?